Ted Bundy was a name that swept across America in the 1970s. Described as a smart, polished man with a seductive kiss and a confident demeanor, Bundy hid a monster inside. After a ton of crimes, he set fire to more than 30 female bodies, spanning multiple states. But the actual number may be even higher. Bundy's story is not just a crime, but also a calculated game between the examination and the justice system. Let's go back in time to explore each step of Ted Bundy's creepy life. Early life, a perfect cover. Theodore Robert Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. From birth, Bundy's life was tied to lies. Raised by his grandfather, he grew up believing that his mother, Louise, was his sister. The truth about Bundy's background was only revealed when he reached adulthood, and it left a big mark in Ngok's psychology. Growing up, Bundy was an intelligent but secretive child. He loved detective books, especially crime stories. Behind his troubled appearance, he showed the first signs of psychological turmoil, surveillance center and female intensity since his teens. Bundy grew up. The survey area began to reveal itself. As he entered adulthood, Bundy built a perfect cover. He was a law student who developed hope, had a charming smile and a confident demeanor. However, inside, Bundy was planning his first crimes. In 1974, a mysterious disappearance began to occur in Seattle, Washington. The young girls were all long-haired brunettes. Bundy approached them by pretending to be a helpless man in need of help, often wearing a prosthetic arm or crutches, as if he were injured. When the girls came to help, the group beat them with iron bars, then gave them an escape route to commit the brutal act. The police only found the victims' cars, along with the struggle, but nothing. The big question is, who is behind these disappearances? How to cause danger? A dangerous incident. Bundy carefully chose his victims. The young girls had similar appearances. This was no coincidence. Many psychologists believe that Bundy's victims bore scratches similar to those of their first love, who had abandoned them. The killer often used his Volkswagen Beetle to kidnap his victims. The small, light brown car became the perfect weapon of the gem, mitigating in advance to have more freedom from being locked up after being put on standby. Bundy's action did not stop at dangerous places. Silence tended to return to the current school to carry out terrifying activities besides this. The investigative report indicated that Bundy suffered from gangrene. This sick act made Ngok's crimes even more horrifying. Victims, the tragic stories. One of the most prominent missions was the death of Jorgan Hawkins, a student at the University of Washington. Jorgan disappeared one night in June 1974, while on her way back to her dorm. According to Bundy's later testimony, Wash approached her by asking for help carrying a ring to his car. Jorgan never returned. She was probably not found until months later, buried in the woods. Bundy claimed that he had beaten her unconscious before taking her to a garbage site and committing the act safely. For every one of these that could be found, the police were faced with a horrifying picture: signs of struggle, violence, and a mark on the heart that was only the time the victim had suffered an attack before his death. Attack alert. Threats. Throughout 1974, Seattle police were under intense public pressure as a series of missing persons cases remained unsolved. But in August, a major lead emerged. Several witnesses reported seeing a man named Ted at the scene, driving a Volkswagen Beetle. The Ted name quickly became the police's biggest source of interest. However, Bundy was too smart to be caught right away. He changed his methods of operation, leaving Washington to work in other states such as Utah, Colorado, and Florida. Bundy was not just a serial killer. Yen was a master manipulator, knowing how to exploit the trust of those around him. With his handsome face and skillful communication skills, he makes everyone believe that he is a perfect citizen. After leaving Seattle, Bundy continued his crime spree in Utah, Colorado, and neighboring states. The first case in Utah occurred in October 1974, when a young college student named Melissa Smith disappeared on her way home. Her body was found a few days later, with obvious signs of torture. At the same time, another case shocked the state of Colorado. Corinne Campbell, a young nurse, was kidnapped from a hotel while she was on vacation with her family. Security cameras captured the last image of her, a young, vibrant woman, leaving the elevator. No one expected that this would be Corinne's last moment alive. The next bodies were found beaten, abused, and even mutilated. The most terrifying thing was that Bundy showed no signs of stopping. In 1975, Ted Bundy was finally captured in Utah after a chase. In his Volkswagen Beetle, police found a strange set of tools: rope, duct tape, handcuffs, and an iron bar. Although there was not enough evidence to charge him with the murders, Bundy was arrested for car theft. But this was just the beginning of Bundy's incredible escapes. In 1977, while being held in Colorado awaiting trial, Bundy took advantage of a lack of police attention to jump out of a prison library window. He disappeared into the woods and evaded capture for several days. That didn't stop there. In December 1977, Bundy made another daring escape. He sawed a hole in the ceiling of his cell and crawled through the ventilation system to escape. This time, he headed straight to Florida, where he would commit the most horrific crimes of his career. On January 15, 1978, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega dormitory at Florida State University in Tallahassee. That night, he committed one of the most gruesome massacres in American criminal history. With a wooden club in hand, Bundy attacked each of the female students sleeping in the room. Margaret Bowman, 21, and Lisa Levy, 20, were beaten to death. Two other girls, Karen Chandler and Kathy Kleiner, survived but were severely injured. The entire dormitory became a scene of blood and horror. Not stopping there, just a few hours later, Bundy attacked another student nearby. That was Cheryl Thomas, who was lucky to escape death, but was seriously injured from which she would never fully recover. Bundy was recaptured in February 1978 in Florida. This time, police had enough evidence to charge him with the Chi Omega massacre and other murders. During the investigation, Bundy began to reveal his mentality and methods of committing crimes. He admitted that killing was not only a criminal act, but also a source of pleasure. When I had control over my victims, I felt like I was God. His testimony sent shivers down America's spine. From a handsome law student, Bundy was revealed to be a psychopath who felt no remorse for his crimes. In 1979, Ted Bundy was brought to trial in Florida in a trial that attracted national attention. With his elegant appearance and skillful speaking ability, Bundy decided to defend himself. He turned the trial into a spectacle, seizing the opportunity to impress the public. However, the evidence against Bundy was overwhelming. Fingerprints, survivor testimony, and especially bite marks on Lisa Levy's body, which matched Bundy's teeth, led to his death sentence. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair at Rayford Prison in Florida. He died, but his crimes and his story continue to haunt generations. Ted Bundy was more than just a serial killer. He was a symbol of the danger hidden in a perfect appearance. Bundy's story is a warning. Evil sometimes does not have a scary face, but appears with a smile and charm. More than 30 years after his death, the secrets of his undiscovered victims still linger, like a ghost of the fear Bundy left behind. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other interesting stories.